Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the session for today. I hope you're well. I hope you're good. And thank you very much for being here today. If you could just let me know that you're hearing and seeing things okay, that would be wonderful. Thank you very much. Um, awesome. Okay, let's get busy. Let's get into it today. And check out what's happening. But of course, before we do, just a little reminder with this important message to make sure that you do your own due diligence on anything you hear or see. Make sure that you follow trading plans. Make sure that you manage risk on every trading action, both on entry and exit, consistent with your own personal trading objectives and financial situation. Okay, that important message shared. Thank you very much, Wayne. Let's pop to check out what's happening in markets today. If we just um, start with the headlines, and then, of course, we'll have that deeper dive, and then we'll find some charts that may be of interest to you. So markets closed higher again last night with the trade deal with Vietnam announced, which obviously means cheaper shoes, I guess. But it's a 20% tariff, which I thought was a little strong. But the big, beautiful bill remains on the headlines outside of the feud between Musk and Trump. It's struggling to get the support it needs to pass through the House in its latest version that was passed by the Senate. Obviously, it is a shortened week with the 4th of July, with tomorrow being a public holiday in the US. Non-farm payrolls today, and might see if we can run a little session on that live as well. US futures are pretty well near neutral so far. Asian markets generally low. The ASX, when last I looked, was down about 0.5%. European futures are pointing to a cautious open. Also, we'll check out all of those things in a bit more detail in a moment. US dollar index still looks a little under pressure, remains beneath those 3-year lows, still at February 2022 levels. Gold pausing under that key level we've talked about many times over the last few weeks at 3350. Copper up again, not a record high close. I've missed a couple of words off that. It is in the crosshairs. It's pretty close. We'll check out a chart on that. It looks really positive today in Asia as well. And oil still looks as though it's not going to drop beneath $66. It's bounced off that support. Strong day yesterday for oil. Bitcoin also strengthened. A little bit of a risk-on day yesterday. Again, we breached a key level overnight, but we're just a little soft in Asia this morning. So no follow through as yet. Of course, any further signs of conflict escalation, trade news, or any news across the wires about whether that tax bill, essentially what it is going to pass through the House, are all worth keeping an eye on, as well as the non-farm payrolls. Let's do a little bit of a deeper dive on some of this. Uh, and let's just up to the markets last night. That's interesting. Let me just do a quick capture. Apologies for this. That's interesting. Why it's not opening? We'll talk through it. We'll have a look at some charts anyway. Um, there we go. Let's do that. So there we go. Let's start, of course, with Bitcoin that we've just referenced. You can see that push yesterday up through this 10.8, sorry, this 108,860 level. But I failed you to move higher than that in Asia this morning. Just seeing it pulling back there. And in fact, this could be read as a potential sell signal on this, with the potential move down to 107,680. So possibly a fair drop on the cards if this selling continues. It's sort of interesting. But if we look at the indices, you can see that positivity yesterday on the Nasdaq futures, which has brought us back up to where we were a couple of days before. If we just pop onto the US 500, there you'll see the continuation of the move higher. Very positive indeed. Certainly the last couple of weeks have been spectacularly good and well worth keeping an eye on that. Subsequent, of course, to the non-farm payrolls data tonight. Right, okay, it's just on. Okay, sorry about this. I'm just juggling windows. There we go. We're all good. Now, if we look at what's happened to the USD, you can see there's the price action over the last couple of weeks, and just a pause there at around these low levels. And you would expect gold to be doing well. Well, it sort of did over the last couple of days. A push, as I said, just beneath that 3350 level. Again, a pause in Asia today, so not a lot of follow through. Perhaps markets are waiting for that non-farm payrolls number tonight, or maybe just reluctant to get in before the long weekend ahead. And that sort of appears to be, if we look back, let's just pop it on a daily chart and you'll see how often this level has been tested. Even better on the 4-hour chart, I'll say. But copper is something very positive today. Again, just a little bit of a pullback in Asia after a very strong session, pulling us through resistance here. We talked about this on the inner circle last night. Thanks to you all who were able to make it, of course. And you can see there that move through 516 has us eyeing these record highs. Let's just bring this up to the top of that close of this pin bar at 524, sorry. And that could be the level just to keep an eye on throughout the day. As I said, all really significant bounce off support. Those of you who have heard me before on regular occasions will know that this is a key potential reversal sign there. Multiple wicks through a key level with a failure to breach, and then a move to the upside again. Just got a little stuck under that 200 MA, and that would probably be the level that we might get interested in, or around about that 68.70 mark. And then Bitcoin, we've already talked about. Let's have a look at some of the USD crosses. Let's just sort ourselves out here. There we go. So we'll start with the US yen. You can see there that we seem to have hit a little bit of a pause on the hourly chart after some USD weakness towards the back end of the session. I like this level at 143.81. A breach through that could see us move up probably around about 35 pips or so to test this level at 144.17. Look at the Euro USD on the short term. You can see very bouncy today in Asia. Let's just move out a little bit, have a look at the 4-hourly chart, and you can see why it's a bit reluctant to breach this level. 118.05 is the level of interest on this. It's a very strong chance of a significant breach of that. Should we break it? Just to put this into context for you all, take it back on the weekly chart, and you can see this is levels not seen since August 2022. So a move through that 118 level is very technically significant and looks as though it's important. If we just flick through the time frames, there it is on the 4-hourly, there it is on the hourly. You may well push this up a little just to take into account the hourly price action, but a close on the hourly chart above 118.12 looks technically important for a potential long trade. Looking at the Canadian dollar yen, another one that we think is interesting because of this ascending triangle pattern that we've got there. 105.71 is the level to keep an eye out for. But I am a little less enthused about this chart as it may get sort of stuck in amongst here. Remember last night we talked about looking at proximity of the next key level, which would probably put around this 105.84, which only means that there's a 12 pip upside potential in this before it may pause. So not as perky as was the case with the Euro USD. Aussie looks a bit weak today. we look at the Aussie yen, you can see there just this sell-off in Asia, which could bring us down to around about this sort of 94.25 level. That's going to be a level just to watch out for a bounce. If we do breach that, you could see it down to test 94 during the course of the day. But undoubtedly, the chart of the day, from an FX point of view, is the Euro US, even though there appears to be a bit of short-term reluctance to breach that 118.12, 118.15 looks like a level to keep an eye on. Checking out some ASX stocks. We liked 360 ASX. We talked about this yesterday as well. Just that little pullback there. We're still waiting for a potential breach of around about this 33.50 level. It's difficult to find a really positive ASX stock this morning, but it looks as though Vulcan Energy is potentially trying to bounce. Yeah, we are up on yesterday, but really we're sort of stuck still underneath this level here at around about 372. So we need to see a move through that to get excited, but it's not far away from that. That's exactly where it's trading right now. So a move higher could see us up to possibly test $4. That might be worth keeping on your radar. We'll come back to NVIDIA later. Here's Nickel Industries. NIC is the ticker code. You can see there an attempt in today's trading to breach that 200 MA, which has been a barrier really for the last month on this stock. So I'm still interested in this. If we do get a close above that, let's say we're looking for a move up to 73.5, 74, then we could see a possible 6% move towards 78. So again, that's possibly worth keeping on your radar. In the iron ore space, Champion Iron is looking interesting, but some work to do again on this. That's the whole market. Just struggles a little bit to look convincing. And outside of that, we've got to go down a little. Parenti's probably worth a look at. Some really interesting price action on Parenti over the last couple of days. 163 looks like a level of interest. Of course, this would be all-time highs on Parenti, formerly Parenti Global. But the fact that this has just failed to breach that, I mean, yesterday it looked as though it was going to fly through it and then gave it all away by the back end. Sorry, the day before yesterday, gave it all away before the back end, towards the back end of the session. As you can see, back into that range again. The more this happens, the more buying pressure may jump in should we breach 163. So again, that's possibly worth keeping on your radar. And just going to pop on. There we go. I'm just going to pop on LYC. We've had this pullback during the course of the week. In fact, the last couple of weeks, but it look as though they may have found a bottom here. I like this stock as a medium to long-term hold. So this potential entry point at around about 840 looks attractive for a potential move up towards where we were a month or so ago, around this 950 level. So that's one to keep on your radar. And one last one that we've been talking about a couple of times over the last couple of sessions is James Hardie. They did push through this level at 41.81. I really like this for a close of this gap. But potentially that might be the higher probability trade if it breaches that 200 MA through 44.66. Let me just have a quick check on. I see what you mean. Um, let's just maybe amend this a little bit. See if we can make that a little bigger. Right, just let's see if that's a bit better for you. Let's just move. How's that, guys? Is that better? Let me just move me too. Fantastic. Thanks for the feedback. Always good. Right. Okay. Right. Okay. Let's just hop into the US. Tesla had a nice bounce off the 200 MA. I know many of you watch Tesla. This could be a nice point to enter. Certainly that supported around about $300, which is exactly where's that 200? So that 200 MA is sitting bang smack on $300. So that potential pipe formation that we've got there looks interesting. Could be a move to get in if you're a little cautious and want something a little technically stronger. $330 might be good for a move up to 360. That would obviously be a significant move in percentage terms of around about 10%. So that's certainly worth keeping your eye on, I would suggest. Carnival, this was our chart of the day last night on Inner Circle uh, for the US, and you can see it continued to push through 29.66 level. I just like this stock. I think it's going places. We are at highs not seen for many a year since pandemic levels, actually. So Carnival CCL is one worth keeping an eye on still. And let's just check out Nvidia as well. Let me just do this. Let's just have a little bit of a flick around and bring on an Nvidia chart we've been tracking for some time. Actually, on the way past, let's just have a look at Micron. Again, a stock which may well have pulled back to find a nice support at 120. Could be a bounce here up to 132. AMD, yes, sure. If we look at AMD here, under 2% last night, again bouncing after a couple of days of retracement. But Nvidia, the one we like, you know that already. We've held 150, so we came down, we tested it on this candle. That was an important test. 150 was always going to be a key level. So the low on that was 151. They've got that very strong candle yesterday. You can see slightly up in extended hours trading. So a trend continuation of this would be a move over the close from Friday last week, I think it was. Yeah, the 27th. So a move through there would be very positive indeed. Anyway, that's where we're at. That's what we think. So let's just review the charts of the day. So we've got Nvidia and Carnival in the US. Keep an eye on Parenti through 163 and James Hardy potentially, and the Euro USD on the possibly on the 30-minute or the hourly chart. Wait to see what happens this afternoon in terms of FX and of all of the larger asset classes. Copper is the one that possibly is most most enthused about. So there you go for today, guys. I hope that's been useful, just giving you a few things to watch throughout the course of this Thursday. Just give you, is there any questions or comments that you have? Feel free to just pop them into the chat there. Just good stuff. Right, one last little message. If you want to, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and click on the notifications. What that will do is it will mean that you'll get a little pre-warning, usually about half an hour before the session starts on this and the Inner Circle sessions. And of course, notification that we're live. So thank you very much. You guys take care of yourselves. Have a great long weekend. I might see some of you tonight if I can organise my world to put on a session tonight. But either way, trade safe. We'll see you again very soon. Have a great one. Bye for now.